Start. Hello and welcome. This afternoon's Path to Enlightenment subject will be what to do at the time of death. But first, let's do some breathing meditation just to relax, settle down, settle the mind and the body. Just relax your body, whether you're sitting in a cushion, in a chair, wherever, just relax. Breathe in and breathe out at your own pace. You just relax your whole body, starting from your feet, coming up through your legs. Just relax, feel your feet on the ground, feel your backside on your cushion or your chair, keeping your back, the spine as straight as you can. Head, the chin slightly forward, not too far forward or you'll go to sleep, not too far up, be agitated, just relax. Hands in your lap. Right hand on top of the left. Just observe the breath. Just the coming and going of the breath. The rising and falling. Just relax the body, relax the mind. Just enjoy the sensation of breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Through the nose, if you can, otherwise through the mouth, no problem. And you can add to this Maitreya's definition of bodhicitta, his ornament for clear realization. Just breathe in, thinking bodhicitta means for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So just breathe in, bodhicitta, breathe out, bodhicitta. Just let that circle, that cycle of breathing be the thought. For the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. Just let that come and go with the breath. Bodhicitta means for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. This is the definition of bodhicitta from Konkamatreya. Just relax, enjoy the sensation of breathing. Breathing in, breathing out at your own pace. With the definition, the meaning of Bodhichitta flowing in and flowing out with the breath. Make it part of your mind. Memorize it. Bodhichitta means for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So as you're breathing in, breathing out, just contemplating, generating the mind of Bodhichitta for the sake of others, and the wish to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. And Bodhichitta, the realization of Bodhichitta, is the conventional mind of enlightenment. So as you breathe in, breathe out, feel the blessings of all the Buddhas, and they wish for all sentient beings to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So, Bodhicitta means for the sake of others, wishing, venturing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So with that thought flowing through our mind, with the in-breath and out-breath of every breath we take, Bodhicitta, be ever present, the continuum of your breath. So we'll now do the prayers. in English, starting with the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha on page 19 of Geshe Acharya Thubten Loden's Prayers for the Path to Enlightenment. Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arahant, perfectly pure and complete Buddha, all-knowing, having poise, Sugata, apprehender of the world, navigator of beings to be subdued, incomparable, teacher of gods and humans, to the Buddha, the Bhagavan, the glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, we prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. Now we'll do the Refuge and Bodhichitta prayer 3 times in English. To the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I go for refuge until becoming enlightened. Through the merit of my generosity and so on, may I achieve Buddhahood to benefit all beings. To the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I go for refuge until becoming enlightened. Through the merit of my generosity and so on, may I achieve Buddhahood to benefit all beings. To the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I go for refuge until becoming enlightened. Through the merit of my generosity and so on, may I achieve Buddhahood to benefit all beings. So now we'll do the short Mandala offering, once again in English. So visualizing a beautiful throne here, offering it to the Buddhas. This ground, anointed with perfume and strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, 4 continents, adorned with sun and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered thus, may all beings enjoy such pure lands. Now the 7-limb prayer on page 21. I prostrate my 3 doors with a mind of respect and offer all actually arranged and mentally emanated offerings. I reveal all the downfalls and negativities that I have ever collected and rejoice in the virtues of individuals and superiors. Please remain perfectly abiding until samsara is no longer seen. I request you to turn the vast and profound wheels of Dharma. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. Now the prayer of the lineage gurus on page 23. If you don't have the prayer book, they're up here on your screen. Body born from a million magnificent and excellent virtues, speech fulfilling the hopes of infinite beings, a mind that sees all objects of knowledge precisely. I bow my head to the chief among the Shakas, supreme sons of the incomparable teacher, carrying the load of the conqueror's deeds by their emanations appearing in countless realms. I prostrate to Maitreya and Manjushri. The mother of conquerors is difficult to fathom. The precise thought is in commentaries written by Jambavipa's ornaments, Nagarjuna and Asanga. I prostrate at the feet of those most renowned in the 3 realms. From these 2 great chariots come the excellent lineages of the path's profound view and vast deeds, their essential points gathered thoroughly and without fault. Prostration to the lamp holding this treasury of instruction. Giving explanation through compassion by seeing precisely and completely the essential points of all paths of Sutra and Tantra, holder of the conqueror's entire holy Dharma, prostrations to the glorious Losandrapa. I, seeing all the infinite teachings, supreme way of crossing for those entering the journey to liberation, moved by compassion to deeds skilled in method, prostrations to the spiritual masters, to make everything clear. And now, the great treasure of excellence, the prayer of the path to enlightenment on page 27. The kind master is the basis of all qualities, and proper alliance is the root of the path. By seeing this excellence and through much striving, bestow blessings to be devoted with great respect. This gentle support of freedom, obtained this one time, is most difficult to achieve. Knowing its great value gives rise to a mind, seizing its essence constantly, day and night. Bestow blessings to generate this continuum unceasingly. It is like a bubble in water, this constantly moving body and life. Thus, remember the swift collapse of death. Beyond death, like body and shadow, white and black karmic results follow after. By gaining firm certainty in this, the mass of faults, subtle and very subtle, are abandoned, and the accomplishment of all virtuous collections completed. Bestow blessings to ever retain conscientiousness. The qualities of samsara are unfit to be trusted, and door to all suffering. Do not be content with these enjoyments. By knowing its defects, bestow blessings to develop a great aspiration for the bliss of liberation. By that pure thought, great conscientiousness is drawn forth, and mindfulness and awareness of the individual liberation, the root of the teachings. Bestow blessings to make this the essential practice. Just as I myself have fallen into samsara's ocean, all living beings as mother are also like that. By seeing the responsibility for the liberation of beings, bestow blessings to be trained in supreme Bodhichitta. However, by merely generating the mind, if not acquainted with the three aspects of ethics, enlightenment will not be attained. By seeing this excellence, bestow blessings to train strong effort in the vows of the conqueror son. Pacifying distraction toward perverse objects by way of proper analysis of the perfect meaning, bestow blessings to swiftly and continuously generate path related to the union of calm abiding and special insight. Thus, becoming a vessel trained in the common paths, enter the Vajrayana, supreme evolution of all vehicles. Bestow blessings to engage the easy path itself, that sacred way of crossing for fortunate beings. The base of practice for the two aspects of attainment is when guarding the pure vows of commitment is found to be genuine and certain. Bestow blessings to protect them, even at risk of life. Then, by understanding properly the important points, which are the essence of the two stages of the Tantra classes, bestow blessings to practice according to these holy teachings, with continuous effort in supreme four-session yoga. Like that, may the spiritual friend revealing the gentle path and the friend's proper practice stand firm. Bestow blessings to quickly pacify the masses of outer and inner hindrances. In all rebirths, may I never be parted from perfect gurus and the enjoyment of the glorious Dharma by utterly completing all qualities, paths, and grounds. May I quickly achieve the state of Vajradhara. So we'll stop there with the prayers for the moment. And we shall look at what to do at the time of death. So Martin went through in the last Lamrim class very clearly what happens at the time of death. So as the five aggregates are dissolving, and the five basic wisdoms, and the four elements, and the six sources, and the five objects externally, as they develop and dissolve. So we'll just do a quick recap of that. It's all very useful, going over and over in the mind, just what happens at the time of death. So the dissolutions begin. So this is in a natural human death, not a violent. Things happen very quickly in a car accident or in a violent situation. But just naturally dying, there are stages of dissolution. So in Geshe's Path to Enlightenment, on page 447, if you have the book with you, I'll just go through it, just lightly to revise the stages of death and the dissolutions. So the process begins with simultaneous disintegration, the aggregate form, so the imperfect mirror-like wisdom, the earth element, the eye sense organ, and the objects of sight all dissolve simultaneously. The external sign is that the body withers and weakens. Objects of sight cannot be seen clearly. The body feels heavy. The eyes stop blinking, and the body's radiance diminishes. So this is what's happening with the first dissolution. And the vision at this time is like a mirage. The second stage of dissolution is the aggregate of feeling and the imperfect wisdom of equality, the water element, ear sense, and sounds all dissolve simultaneously. So the external signs accompanying this, the feelings of happiness, suffering and indifference, no longer felt. The body's liquids dry up. External sounds can no longer be heard, and the buzzing sound in the ears ceases. And the dying person experiences the internal sign of a smoke-like vision. The third stage happens simultaneously. The aggregate of discrimination, the imperfect wisdom of analysis, fire element, the nose organ, nose sense organ, and the objects of smell. We have the loss of the capacity to distinguish close friends, relatives, and other people. The names, people, and objects cannot be remembered. The body loses its heat and consequently its power to digest food. Exhalation is strong, inhalation is weak, and there's a difficulty in breathing. And the ability to smell is lost. The inner sign is the appearance of sparks, like fireflies. The fourth stage in the dissolution is the aggregate of compositional factors, the imperfect wisdom of achieving activities, the air element, the tongue, sense organ, the objects of taste, and the objects of touch. So the body sense organ began to fade with the first dissolution, and at this stage is completely dissolved. All physical abilities fail. All purpose or reason for acting is lost. The winds of the body dissolve into the heart chakra. The tongue becomes thick, short, and blue, and all sense of taste is lost. When the objects of touch are lost, the ability to experience any tangible thing, such as roughness or smoothness, is also lost. The dying person experiences an inner sign like a flickering candle or butter lamp, which is about to be extinguished. At this stage, because the breathing is stopped with the dissolution of the wind element, the person would normally be declared dead. Actually, though, death is not complete because there is a subtle level of consciousness remaining at the heart chakra. And this remaining consciousness is dissolved, the final stage of the death process. So the fifth stage is gradual. The 80 indicative conceptions, then the mind of radiant white appearance, followed by the mind of radiant red increase, the mind of radiant black near attainment, and then the clear light of death. So Geshe explains very clearly on page 450. During this time, a variety of visions are experienced in relation to the movement of energies within the subtle body. The first vision is experienced when the white, pure essence of the sperm from the father, which has the nature of water and has resided in the crown chakra throughout this life, moves down the central channel to the heart chakra. So as this is descending, there's the mind of radiant white appearance. At this time, the person feels that everything is completely white, clear, peaceful, and pure like the light of the full moon. The very subtle mind called the empty, that it is empty of all gross conceptuality. The second vision is experienced when the red, pure essence of the egg from our mother, which has the nature of heat and has resided in the navel chakra throughout life, moves up the central channel to the heart chakra. At that time, the person experiences a vision of redness, like the red and orange sky of sunset. This is a more subtle mind than the mind of white appearance and is called the very empty, in that it is empty of even the white vision. So this is the mind of radiant red increase. The third vision, experienced when the pure essence of the sperm and the pure essence of the egg meet and dissolve into the heart chakra together. At that time, the person feels everything is completely dark and black. He has no perception of anything. This mind is more subtle than the mind of red appearance. It is called the mind of black near attainment and is referred to as the great empty, in that it is even more empty than the mind of red appearance. The consciousness then experiences the clear light of death. The clear light vision is an experience of the pure radiance of the mind. There is an experience of complete clarity with no perception of colour or shape. So no object, non-objectifying. It is like a clear dawn morning in autumn, and is called the all-empty, in that the last vestige of subtle conceptuality has ceased. A great yogi can meditate on this clear light of death for a long period of time, even weeks. And Geshe Acharya Thubten Loden did this, at the time of his passing, for 10 days. And then the explanation continues. The subtle wind, supporting the mind of clear light of death, then moves a little, and the pure essence of the egg ascends from the heart chakra to the upper end of the central channel and leaves through the nose. And at the same time, the pure essence of the sperm descends from the heart chakra to the lower end of the central channel and leaves through the sexual organ. This is the point of actual death, and the consciousness leaves the body. The heat at the heart then disappears and the body collapses totally and begins to decay. At the instant they leave the heart chakra, the subtle wind and subtle mind, with whatever its realizations, virtue and so on, transform into the mind and body of the intermediate state being. The relationship with the former body is completely severed. So, what to do at the time of death? So on page 455, Geshe-la's Path to Enlightenment, he explains. The rebirth you will go to depends on the type of mind that you generate immediately prior to and during the first stages of death. And that if you're familiar with consciousness transference techniques taught in the Vajrayana, you could engage strongly in those practices prior to death. Otherwise, we can use the 5 powers which are here before us, at the bottom of page 455. 5 powers for the time of death. So the first one, power of beneficial intention, is generating strongly the intention never to allow your mind to become separated from pure mind of enlightenment, Bodhichitta, for what remains of the present life, while dying, while in the intermediate state, and for any of your future lifetimes. So the power of beneficial intention is Bodhichitta, the mind of Bodhichitta. So as we did at the beginning of this session, breathing in and breathing out, the definition, the thought of Bodhichitta as given by Konka. Bodhichitta means, for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So the first thing we can do at the time of death, prior to the time of death, during death, the dissolutions, recall Bodhichitta. Let it be our mind, the focus of our mind. For the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So just sit with that thought. The first 5 powers at the time of death is generating the mind of Bodhichitta. The second power, the power of the white seed, preparing the mind by ridding oneself of all forms of attachment. So Geshe explains, give away your wealth, property, and other possessions prior to death, so that while dying, you feel in the same way toward leaving this life as a bird feels flying off from a bare rock. To generate the mind, renunciation, renouncing all suffering, relinquishing all the accumulations of this lifetime, offering them to others, so that after death, you can travel on to a brand new future life without any excess baggage in the mind. With just the mind of Bodhichitta. The third power is the power of destruction, destroying all negative karma by practicing the 4 opponent powers. So these are explained in the Path to Enlightenment on page 170. The power of the object, power of regret, the power of the opponent, and the power of commitment. Geshe explains, particularly purify wrong actions involving your guru, parents, family, disciples, or friends. Unpurified karmas are an obstruction to taking rebirth in an upper realm or a pure land. So if we prepare by purifying our negative karmas completely, using the 4 opponent powers, then your wish to be reborn in a certain place will be fulfilled. So we can have a look at these 4 opponent powers. Flip to page 170. And there they are. Power of the object is often explained as being the object of confession, or declaration. According to J. Pabonka Rinpoche, all negativities are created in relation to either the 3 jewels or sentient beings. Breaking vows, abandoning the Dharma, causing disunity among the Sangha are examples of negative karma in relation to the 3 jewels. Whereas killing, stealing, lying, so on are examples of negative karma in relation to other sentient beings. So Geshe here explains how If we fall to the ground, we use the same ground to support our effort to get back up. So likewise, going for refuge by relying on the three jewels, the object of refuge, and generating bodhicitta by relying all sentient beings as an object of compassion, will purify all negative karma. So taking refuge and generating bodhicitta are therefore the power of the object. So we notice that bodhicitta keeps manifesting throughout all of these wonderful Mahayana teachings. So the second of the four opponent powers is the power of regret, so that we can reflect on all our negative actions arising from attachment, anger, ignorance, created in the past, in the present, and possibly in the future, and all those negative actions that we've caused others to create, and then develop strong regret by recognizing the suffering that we will experience in future lives. So regret purifies both negative karma and the tendency to create negative karma again. And the extent to which we purify is dependent on the strength and sincerity of our regret. So when we regret, we should then practice the third opponent power, power of the opponent. So this third power is a virtuous action done as an antidote to whatever negative action we wish to purify. And Geshe gives the examples of doing prostrations, reciting mantras, reading Dharma texts, meditating on emptiness, citing the names of Buddhas, making offerings, practicing generosity, benefiting sentient beings. And doing any of these actions with bodhicitta motivation and the awareness of emptiness of inherent existence of the subject, object, and action makes the purification most powerful. And any Dharma practice, such as the 6 transcendental actions of the Bodhisattvas, so generosity, ethics, patience, joyous effort, concentration, single-pointed concentration, and wisdom, directly perceiving emptiness. Or just having positive thoughts is an opponent force overcoming negative karmas. Any practice of meditation will purify negative karma, especially if you concentrate on bodhicitta, or the wisdom perceiving emptiness. So this third one, the opponent force, is the actual means to directly destroy negative karma and its habit energy. And the fourth is the power of commitment. To commit never to practice, never to cause, never to create these negativities again, as much as possible. So having looked at the 4 opponent powers there, we jump back. The fourth of the 5 powers for the time of death is the power of familiarity. Power of familiarity is constantly being mindful of the pure mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, throughout the death process. So the mind of bodhicitta, for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. Dying with this virtuous motivation is the cause of definitely obtaining higher rebirth in the next life. And the 5th power is dedication. Dedicating all the merit to positive thoughts, positive karma, to receiving a rebirth in a higher realm or a pure land for the benefit of all sentient beings. So we're dedicating with a bodhicitta motivation for the destination of our next rebirth. And Geshe explains that for ordinary people like us, the technique of transferring the consciousness to an upper realm or pure land is generally more effective than Vajrayana methods. So, but if you're a good, excellent Vajrayana practitioner and more familiar with those deity practices, then use the method in which you have great confidence. And now we can do a meditation that Geshe provides. At the time of death, you can visualize Lord Buddha seated on a lotus, moon and sun, presenting renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom perceiving emptiness. So the renunciation is renouncing all suffering and causes. The moon is bodhicitta, the sun is wisdom. So visualize Shakyamuni Buddha on a lotus, moon and sun. The nature of light, and just a vision to our mind. Recollect Lord Buddha's great love, compassion, wisdom, and the qualities of his enlightened state. We make a prayer requesting him to remove the suffering of the 3 lower realms so that we may take rebirth, one of the higher realms or pure lands. So visualize Shakyamuni Buddha in front. You can recite, if you wish, Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra, either aloud or just mental recitation. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Soha. Just allow Lord Buddha's mantra to enter your body, enter your mind. The recitation of Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Soha. Definitely feel the presence of Lord Buddha in front or above your head. Beautiful golden light radiating from Shakyamuni Buddha. Purifying your body, purifying your mind. Concentrating on Lord Buddha, mentally repeating his mantra. And the thought, the wish for your mind to become oneness to Lord Buddha's mission mind. Concentrate on the thought. When my mind is separated from its present body, may it dissolve into Buddha's holy, omniscient mind. Just sit with that thought, thinking, when my mind is separated from its present body, may it dissolve into the Buddha's holy, omniscient mind. Retain this wish with constant mindfulness. Geshe explains that if we practice in this way before death, by the power of the meditation, you will be reborn in an upper realm or a pure land, even though you may have created many heavy negative karmas during this life. And that we can do a similar practice in relation to any deity with which we feel a great connection. So any of the female Buddhas, any of the male Buddhas, any Buddha mind, mind of Bodhichitta. So just keep that beautiful visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha the powerful mantra Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Soa. Feel the blessings of the Buddha. Just relax. Enjoy the blessings of the Buddha. Beautiful golden light pervading your body and mind. Becoming oneness, Buddha's blissful omniscient mind. Just feel the very peaceful, blissful presence of Lord Buddha. And if this were the time of death, very pleased to become oneness with the omniscient mind of the Buddha. Let go and take rebirth in a higher realm or pure land. So Geshe explains that by practicing like this now, it will come effortlessly at the time of death, and that the benefits are twofold: benefit at the time of death and benefit in daily life. So it's very good to read and reread the entire path to enlightenment, but at this stage, study the 5 powers for the time of death, what to do, power of beneficial intention, Bodhichitta, power of the white seed, relinquishing attachment, power of destruction, the 4 opponent powers, the power of familiarity, mindfulness of Bodhichitta throughout the death process, and the power of dedication, dedicating all our merit, positive thoughts, positive karma, to a rebirth in a higher realm or pure land for the benefit of all sentient beings. So Geshe then goes on to explain that it is important to understand about death and rebirth, and particularly to know what to do at the time of death. And that by understanding this process, the death process, the intermediate state and rebirth, we can gain insight into the manner in which we're bound to cyclic existence, samsara, taking rebirth again and again. And one way is to look at the 12 dependent links, which is our next chapter, chapter 16, Path to Enlightenment, page 459. So the 12 dependent links, or the 12 links of dependent arising, function to bind one to cyclic existence. And the definition of dependent arising is a phenomenon that arises in dependence upon its parts. So all things exist dependent on causes, conditions, parts, and mental imputation. So all existent phenomena are necessarily dependent arisings, because all existence have parts. And the wonderful, fearless master, great scholar, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, in his treatise on the Middle Way, explains, because there are no phenomena that are not dependent arisings, there are no phenomena that are not empty of inherent existence. So just contemplate that. All phenomena are dependent arisings. Therefore, all phenomena are empty of inherent existence. And the example Geshe gives of the progressively more subtle levels of dependent arising, using the body, the least subtle level is that the body exists independent on its causes, the sperm and the ovum of the parents. These are the causes. The next level is the body exists in dependence upon its parts, our arms, legs, bones, blood, etc., etc., etc. And the most subtle level of dependent arising is that the body exists merely in dependence upon a labelling consciousness conceiving body. There is no body that exists independent of causes, parts, or label. This amazing stuff. All phenomena are dependent arisings, and all dependent arisings are empty of inherent existence, existing from their own side. Not possible to exist from their own side without causes, conditions, parts, or mental labelling. Impermanent phenomena are dependent arisings because they are products and thus have causes as well as parts and labels. Permanent phenomena are dependent arisings because although they are not produced and therefore do not have causes, they do have parts and labels. And the example given is space, which is a permanent phenomenon, but depends on its parts, 10 directions, and the labeling consciousness, apprehending space. So we'll just have a quick look at the next page from the Rice Seedling Sutra from Shakyamuni Buddha. Outlays the 12 links of dependent origination. Bhikkhus, whoever sees dependent arising sees phenomena. Whoever sees phenomena sees the Buddha. Due to the existence of this, that arises. Due to the production of this, that is produced. It is thus. Due to ignorance, there is compositional action. Due to compositional action, there is consciousness. Due to consciousness, there are name and form. Due to name and form, there are the 6 sources. Due to the 6 sources, there's contact. Due to contact, there is feeling. Due to feeling, there is attachment. Due to attachment, there's grasping. Due to grasping, there is existence. Due to existence, there is birth. And due to birth, there is aging and death. They're the 12 dependent links. And due to aging and death, there is sorrow and grief, suffering, unhappiness, and conflict all arise. Thus, the great suffering of the aggregates is produced. So we'll have a look at these 12 links of dependent arising next week. We'll just do a short finishing off meditation, and then we'll conclude with the prayers. So the 12 dependent links, which we'll look at next week, are ignorance, compositional action, consciousness, name and form, 6 senses, contact, feeling, craving, grasping, existence, birth, aging and death. And they're all linked. If we break a link, we can break the attachment, the cyclic existence, samsara. So we'll just do a short meditation. So just relax where you are. Make yourself comfortable. Once again, settling the mind, breathing in and out. Relax the body, relax the mind. Just watch the breath. flowing in, flowing out. And allow the continuum, the mind of Bodhichitta, for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete perfect enlightenment, just to flow with the breath. To flow with the breath in this meditation, breathing in, breathing out. To flow with the breath after this meditation, whether awake, asleep, at work, at play, studying, relaxing. Let the mind of enlightenment, the thought of pure bodhicitta, pervade your mind with every breath. For the sake of others, wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. And others being all limitless, numberless, countless sentient beings. So we'll conclude with the prayers on page 31, the final prayer, the graduated path. By the two collections, vast as space, amassed with effort for a long time, may I become a chief of conquerors, a guide for all beings whose mind's eye is blinded by ignorance. Also, in all lives will not yet come to that, may Manjushri favour me with his compassion, finding the supreme path, complete with all stages of the teachings. May I please the conquerors by practicing well. By my precise understanding of the essential points of the path, with skillful means drawn along by strong compassion, and by dispelling the mental darkness of beings, may I uphold the conqueror's teachings for a long time. Where the supreme precious teaching is not spread, also where it has spread, but become degenerate, with a mind deeply moved by great compassion, may I make clear this treasure, benefit and bliss. The stages of the path, excellently established by the marvellous deeds of the conquerors and their sons and daughters, give glory to the minds of those aspiring for liberation. May the conqueror's deeds be long preserved. May all humans and non-humans remove the obstructions and establish conditions favourable to cultivating the excellent path, never be parted for all of their lifetimes from the purest of paths which the Buddhas have praised. When someone makes effort to practice properly the 10 points of conduct of the Supreme Vehicle, may they always be assisted by the mighty protectors, and may oceans of good fortunes spread out, reaching all. So all of these prayers are actually meditations. They're wonderful to do anytime, anywhere. Please do. So now we'll turn to page 34, the special dedication at the top of the page in English. Whatever white virtues we have thus created, we dedicate as causes, enabling us to uphold the holy Dharma of scripture and realization, and fulfill without exception the prayers and deeds of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times. By the power of this merit in all our lives, may we never be parted from the four wheels of the Mahayana. And may we complete the journey on the paths of renunciation, Bodhichitta, pure view, and the two stages. So just while we're finishing that one there too, the four wheels of the Mahayana. The first wheel is relying on holy beings. The second one is abiding in a harmonious environment. The third is having supportive family and Dharma friends. And the fourth, generating merit and prayers. So they're the four wheels of the Mahayana. And now, to conclude, we do the general dedication in English. Two prayers there. By this virtue, may all beings complete the collections of wisdom and merit and attain the two holy bodies arisen from wisdom and merit. May the precious superior mind of enlightenment be generated in those who have not yet generated it, and not decrease in those who have developed it, but increase continuously. Thank you very much indeed. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be in the temple at that time. And then the following week, I believe, the wonderful, venerable Geshe Doga will be at the Tibetan Buddhist Society. So please attend that. Thank you for your time. Stay well. Be kind to all sentient beings. Thank you.